All right, let's dive right in. Today, we've got an absolutely epic story for you, one from ancient India. It's a tale that starts with a pretty thoughtless insult, which then snowballs into a furious curse, and, believe it or not, a bribe that actually seals a king's doom. And the whole thing, it really gets you thinking about one very deep question.
So, what could possibly make a good person a king, no less, vow to commit genocide? I mean, that's a huge leap, right? But that is exactly where this story is headed. We're talking about a powerful king so consumed by grief and rage that he promises to wipe out an entire race of beings. And the crazy part? It all starts with something small, a single, almost casual moment of disrespect.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a king. He's been out hunting all day, he's exhausted, he's thirsty, and he just happens to stumble upon a sage who's, well, he's deep in meditation. What the king does next seems like such a small thing, but trust me, it's the spark that's about to ignite an absolute firestorm. So let's meet our main players. On one side, you've got King Parikshit. He's the ruler of Hastinapura, a big deal, a powerful guy. And then, on the other side, you have Rishi Samika. This guy is the total opposite. He's an ascetic, completely absorbed in his spiritual practice, his passions are in check, and, this is important, he's taken a vow of silence. So you've got this collision course, right? Power meets peace. So the king, he's tired and thirsty, and he's trying to get the sage's attention, but nothing. Because, the sage is meditating and under a vow of silence. The king's frustration just builds and builds until he does something pretty shocking. He sees a dead snake lying on the ground, picks it up with his bow, and just drapes it over the shoulders of the completely still, meditating sage. Then he just turns around and storms off. Now get this. The most important part of this whole interaction is the sage's reaction. Or, well, his non-reaction. He literally does nothing. The text calls him a sea of kindness. He's just so deep in his meditation, so at peace. He doesn't even feel the dead snake on his shoulders. He is completely oblivious to the insult. But somebody else was watching. And this right here is where the story really takes a sharp turn. Because while the father was this perfect picture of calm and tranquility, his son was the exact opposite. And there was no way this insult was going to go unanswered. So let's meet the son, Sringin. Now, this kid has some serious spiritual power, but he's also got a notoriously short fuse. He's a real hothead. And when one of his friends comes running and tells him what King Parikshit just did to his father, Sringin just completely loses it. His rage is just off the charts. He is absolutely blazing with anger. He takes some holy water and just unleashes this terrifying curse on the king. And this isn't just some vague bad things will happen to you curse. Oh no, this is a death sentence. He names the executioner, Takshaka, the king of the serpents, and he even gives a deadline, 7 days. So the clock is officially ticking. Now Sage Samika, the father, he is horrified when he finds out what his son did. He sends a messenger to warn the king. So what does King Parikshit do? He goes into full-on survival mode. He has this special fortress built, a whole mansion sitting on top of a single heavily guarded column. He figures, I'll just wait it out for 7 days. But fate has other plans, and the Serpent King is already on his way. Okay, here we are. It's the 7th day, the final day. The king is holed up in his fortress, thinking he's safe. But out in the forest, a meeting is about to take place that is going to seal his fate for good. Imagine this. On a path leading toward the king, 2 incredibly powerful beings are about to cross paths. First, you've got Takshaka, the Serpent King himself, disguised as a holy man, heading to fulfill the curse and kill the king. And coming from the other direction, a sage named Kashyapa, who is a master of anti-venom mantras, and he's on his way to save the king. The ultimate showdown is brewing. So Takshaka sees the sky, Kashyapa, and he's skeptical. He's like, oh yeah? You think you can cure my poison? Prove it. So he challenges him. Takshaka bites this huge, ancient tree, and his poison is so powerful, the tree just combusts into a pile of ash. Instantly. But then, Kashyapa steps up, chants his mantras, and, you won't believe it, the tree comes back to life. Sprouts, leaves, everything. This is huge. It proves the king can be saved. Hope is not lost. Okay, so Takshaka sees this miracle, and he knows he can't beat this guy's power. Plan A isn't going to work, so he switches to Plan B, bribery.
He knows the king promised Kashyapa riches to save him, so Takshaka makes him a counteroffer, a massive fortune in gold.
And this is the heartbreaking turning point of the whole story. Kashyapa looks at the mountain of treasure Takshaka offers, way more than the king could ever give him, and he takes it. He just accepts the bribe and turns around and goes home. He abandons the king. And just like that, all hope is gone. Takshaka then continues on, gets past all the guards, and fulfills the curse. All right, let's fast forward. Years have gone by. King Parikshit is long gone, and his son, Janamejaya, is now on the throne. And he's just heard this entire tragic story about his father's death for the very first time. But as his ministers finish telling it, he has a really good, really logical question. He basically asks, wait a second, how do we know any of this? How could anyone possibly know what happened in the middle of that forest? I mean, think about it. The demonstration with the tree, the bribe, that was a secret deal between just two people on a lonely path. How on earth did that story get out? And the answer is one of the wildest parts of this entire story. Get this. There was a witness. A servant who was up in that very tree gathering firewood was hiding in the branches. So when Takshaka's poison burned the tree to ash, the servant was incinerated too. But, and this is the crazy part, when Kashyapa brought the tree back to life with his magic, he brought the servant back to life along with it. This guy literally went to ash and back, and he became the secret witness to the whole thing. So you can imagine, for King Janamejaya, this changes everything. This one piece of information reframes the entire story. His father's death wasn't just fate. It wasn't just the unavoidable result of a curse. No, it was a preventable death. It was a death caused by treachery, by Takshaka's bribe and Kashyapa's greed. His father could have and should have been saved. And in that single moment, all of his grief just curdles into pure, white-hot rage. And just like Sringin did all those years ago, he takes holy water and makes a vow. But this isn't a curse on just one snake. This is a vow of vengeance on a scale you can't even imagine. He vows to perform a great ritual, a snake sacrifice, that is designed to pull every single serpent in the entire world into a fire, including Takshaka. And that's where we're going to leave this story for now. It starts with one king's casual, thoughtless insult, and it ends with his son vowing to commit total genocide against an entire species. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where is that line between a quest for justice and just simple revenge? How does something that starts with wanting to right a wrong spiral into a promise of absolute, world-ending vengeance?